Look what I made for you, Mommy.
Our days were tough. It is so hard to describe what our days were like. It is hard to put into words the intensity and the exhaustion that our family has gone through. Words are handed to us like we as parents know what to do with them. Severe loses its meaning when said over and over again. Being our first, we had nothing else to compare with, so I had an easier time accepting it. This was all we knew anyways. Along came our second baby, and we naively thought that things couldn't get any harder. Hindsight, or something like that. Our days were tough. Our nights were 10 times worse. Night seemed to blur all the lines. At night, I am not as patient, I am not as empathetic or compassionate. I just want to sleep. Bedtime turns into a 2-hour trial. When slumber finally takes over, I would just stare, and I am perplexed that she can be so tiny, yet so very mighty. I would walk away and praise everything that she was finally sleeping. I wake from sleep by what starts as a small cry. My anxiety kicks in immediately, and dread fills my body. I would close my eyes and plead that she settles. The crying gains a few octaves, and I know my pleading will go unanswered. I quickly stumble into her room, hoping that this time my presence will be enough to settle her. This particular night, I was not so lucky. Nothing seemed to settle her. Within minutes, she was in a complete meltdown, screaming on the top of her lungs, kicking anything, me, the walls, the door, and floor. I was worried her screaming would wake the neighbors or her brother. Being a sensory avoider, when she had a meltdown, the first thing to go was her clothing. Less input in her already bogged down mind. Touching her makes her freak out more. One of the hardest things about your 1-year-old freaking out so hard is not being able to give that physical touch, to let her know you are there. It is devastating. I am beside her. When I try to talk to her, she screams louder. Touching her makes her arch her back like she's in pain. Tears are running down her small red cheeks. She is gasping for air. She's been screaming for over an hour now. Finally, I can't take it anymore, and I wrap her little body in her blanket, and I just hold on tight. She is clawing at me to get away, but I won't let go. She is crying. I am crying. And Ryan is rubbing my back helplessly, asking what he can do. I have no idea. I don't know what to do. I just don't know how to help her, and I can't do this anymore. Finally, I ask him to turn on the shower. I climb in, fully clothed, trying to contain her as she is kicking and screaming. I hold her tightly to me, and I start swaying under the spray of the water. Gradually, I can feel her body start to relax, and her breathing is starting to level out. Her voice is raw and cracked from screaming. We get out, and Ryan wraps her in a towel, and I am holding her while sitting on the toilet lid. She finally succumbs to the exhaustion of the past 2 hours. This night is weighing heavily on me. Her breathing is now slow and shallow, and her limbs are hanging in relaxation. As I gaze at her, I take in how tiny and fragile she is, how long her beautiful eyelashes are, how innocent her features are. I am crying again. This time my tears are not out of frustration. They are because I know that I got this. I can weather this storm and any storm that comes our way. No matter how hard it gets, I will be with you all the way through until we see that rainbow on the other side of the raging storm.